What's up, guys? It's your girl, Victoria J from 12th Street Talk Back, where transparency is our love language. This video is sponsored by BetterHelp, and I receive commissions for referrals to BetterHelp. You guys know that transparency is very important to me because I believe it's the key to communication and bridging the gap in our community. Bridging the communication gap in our community amongst our generations has been very near and dear to my heart for a very long time. I've been working feverishly to spark the heart conversations in our community. As the world changes, people change, things change, life experiences change us. Sometimes it can be hard to express yourself to your loved ones. We all suffered something during the pandemic, some more so than others. Emotions can be like a roller coaster. That's why I'm grateful to BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist is not the right fit for you for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional cost. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you can expect from an in-office therapy, and with therapists who are custom picked for you. More scheduling, flexibility, and more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/12th Street. That's betterhelp.com/12th Street. I've also linked it in the description below. Let's start bridging the communication gap together. Welcome back to Freedom Fridays. I'm Victoria J.
And I'm Miss Riri.
Hey guys, what's up? How you guys doing today? I hope everybody is blessed on this beautiful Friday morning. Let's get some prayer in, you guys. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now in the name of Jesus. We thank you for the very breath that we're breathing on this day, Father God. We thank you for your grace and your mercy because we know that it is new every day, Father God. Let your will be done in our life right now, oh Lord. And if it be your will, we'll be here again, same time next week. Amen, everybody. Amen.
Amen.
What's going on, Miss Riri?
Well, you see, I'm running with scissors, right?
I know that's right. What you doing with the scissors today? What you doing with the scissors?
Girl, I'm playing and cropping and decorating and supposed to be cleaning, but I stopped for a minute.
You sound like me. I done pulled out stuff. If I was to turn this camera around, it would look like a national disaster, but I know it's organized for me. In my head, I know where everything going. It may not look like I know where everything going, but I know where everything going.
It ain't nothing like organized mess. And I
Yes.
live in organized mess.
Mm-hmm. But I had to switch some stuff around because I felt too congested over here. Now I can just kind of do the chicken dance. I moved my chase. I wasn't using it anyway, so I moved it in front of the TV on the wall. And I was like, if I want to land here, it's lightweight. I can just put it right in front of the desk. I just needed some more space. I felt closed in. Every time I got on the mic, I just felt closed in. I was like, I got to get this out my way.
And I am so opposite. Like all I need is a little bit of walk path.
Because you
I be good.
live.
You think? Yeah,
You
okay.
ain't chunky like we are over here. I was telling my aunt I went over her house yesterday and she cooked me a good old lunch and we did our missionary work and put our little bags together for her to go and drop off for Mother's Day for her little people. And it had the little roses in them and we put little other stuff in there. And I went downstairs and she had cooked me lunch. And let me tell you, none of it had sugar in it, but it was so good. I had chicken and home fries and a cherry cobbler, girl, make you want to slap your mama. I said, oh, I said, now if I can cook like this and it tastes like her stuff, because she was like, I don't use sugars and salts. I don't mess with that stuff. So everything you're eating is all natural. But it had flavor. If I could cook like that, man, girl, I'll be skinny as you. I gotta get this weight off of me. I was sitting looking at myself in the mirror, and when your titties start to hit your stomach and just sit there on your stomach.
I remember when I was pregnant with Malika, and I was like, my breasts are getting so small. It was like, no, your stomach is getting so big that you're not realizing that your breasts are still the same size, if not bigger. And in my head, I'm like, damn, that do make a lot of sense.
I know. I can't even blame it on COVID. I can't blame my weight on COVID. I can blame it on post-COVID after I had my back surgeries, not getting out, getting that daily exercise, but my weight goes up and down. That's what I was telling my aunt yesterday. I said, I'm just like my mom because I have pictures of her when she was thin. Then she pick up weight and she drop it. And that's how I do. When I'm happy, I gain weight. When I'm stressed out, you could see me 2 months later and I done dropped down so small. I said, I need some stress in my life so I can lose this weight.
Well, you know what? COVID to me, I'm gonna say got a bad rap. And please, I'm not undermining it, but I say that for the weight gain factor, because for me, it was a blessing because I needed to gain weight because they were threatening to put me back in the hospital. So I needed to gain that weight back because I was like in the 90s. So I needed to stay at 100 in a bus. So now I'm at like 143. And I know it ain't nothing but Rice Krispie treats and Smarties and Charleston shoes. I ain't gonna
What was
lie.
that you eating? What was you eating a couple weeks ago? Where
Probably Smarties.
you was saying that it said you was only supposed to eat one serving and you ate the whole thing.
Girl, Smarties.
Was that
Michael calls himself getting me the this kind of Smarties, the liquid, the squeeze cap Smarties. To try to help me. He ain't helping me. Oh, you probably was it the Jelly Bellies? No, because Jelly Bellies, I think I'm supposed to eat 35. It's only supposed to be 35.
I think it was something like that. It was something like that. Yeah, you was like, girl, that one serving wasn't gonna do me no good.
Probably them damn jelly.
That's how I was, those Weathers popcorn didn't last long. Will didn't get a bite. I waited around and waited around for him to get some, and he's always like, go ahead, baby. So I finished them off real good.
Man, if I find some more of those. And that's why I said my little non-taste, I still can't taste, but this little hot, nasty fire dragon breath I feel like I have, but I'm still greedy. Like I still enjoy food. Can't taste it, but I still enjoy food. So that was such a plus for me when I was able to like choose solids and keep it down. Oh my God, you want to talk about somebody being grown? I felt so grown.
I know you did.
Oh, I felt so grown. It ain't nothing like being on them. I be feeling sorry for babies now. Being on that little parade stuff, I had to parade everything. It was much.
Look, I'm trying to look up the popcorn on Amazon right now.
Why didn't you think about Amazon?
I know. I told you why you didn't think about Amazon.
Oh no. I didn't think about Amazon.
I'm trying to see if they got it on Amazon because
Are you for real?
Uh,
Son?
it's on there. Oh, good Lord. It's $25.
Gee.
But you get the bucket. You get a reusable plastic bucket, and they have.
I'm a sucker for stuff like that. That's just
But
more
I don't
stuff.
need to show you this because you just do
You
the most.
what? You ain't got
Okay.
to show me nothing because you know I'm on. You know I'm.
And oh God, Irene, how much I ain't even gonna ask you how much that
I
bag
ain't paying
that
no
you
$25.
sent me, the bag that you sent me is up here for $14.99
I ain't pay $14.99.
for 5.29 ounces.
No. I paid regular, like, what would you pay for? Like maybe $3 or $4 or whatever it was. It
Yeah,
was something like that. It wasn't no. I ain't gonna lie, now it wasn't no amount like that.
$25. That is
Nah,
crazy.
wasn't nowhere near that.
Now they got a 6-ounce reusable bag for $10.99. That's crazy. I don't know.
I
So
wouldn't
what's
even pay the $10.99.
I
But
wouldn't have paid the $10.99. I wouldn't pay that. I was in the store the other day and I was telling Will, I said we was getting his lunch stuff for lunch. He likes to take a sandwich and chips because it's getting hot outside.
Mhm.
And he hate hooking up the generator to plug up the microwave. And I was like, first of all, the party size of Lay's potato chips has decreased in size, but went up in
Girl,
price.
yes,
It's like $7 for a bag of potato chips.
for a bag of air
Yeah.
because it's lots and lots of air.
So what are you working on? You're intensely working on something.
But right now, I'm intensely working on Amazon. I'm intensely working on air.
Let me find out you on Amazon shopping.
I am intensely working on Amazon.
Girl, let me tell
Oh
you, this
God.
has been a week, girl. I went to church Sunday and I had such a good time. I tell you, girl, I had a good time. We just showed out. I just showed out in church this Sunday.
That's
I
all.
just showed out. I just showed out. I was ready for my week. I said, I'm ready for you, Satan. I'm ready. I got my armor on. I'm ready for you.
What?
Girl. I
That's
said,
what it's all about.
girl, tell me about it. Tell me
That is what
about
it's
it.
all about.
I went into spring clean mode and took down all my white curtains and washed them. So now I got to get them back up there. I'm waiting for hubby to get them back up there, but I've been in spring clean mode. It's 80 degrees in North Carolina, 83 today.
Oh. Ziggy, what's the weather? Currently in the Bronx is 59 degrees.
Are you serious? Y'all still wearing your coats?
Yesterday it was in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
I talked to this lady from New Hampshire today. She said it was in the low 70s. And she was like, that's good weather for us. And I was like, does it get colder than that? She was like, heck yeah.
Yeah. It'd be
North Carolina,
negative.
you remember, we didn't really, if we had a winter, we really had a winter. You know, it
Yeah.
was going to snow 2 or 3 times. But over the years, we've not really had any winter. This year, it didn't snow at all. We didn't
Okay.
see one flake. Last year, it snowed a sprinkle and it was done in 30 minutes. So the last 2 years, we haven't really seen a winter.
Man, I
Not
remember
here.
living out there and it snowed. And it was, I mean, people like to lose their freaking minds. Like, you got to get out early. You got to do it. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is not, some a dusting. I'm like, this ain't no snow. People didn't know how to drive. People lost all sense of sense. It's like, yo, you got to be kidding me.
Girl, what I remember when I first touched down in New York, when I came up there to live, when we got off the train, it was snowing in New York. And we decided with our bright selves that we were going to take the bus to the Bronx instead of taking a cab, call ourselves saving money. But first of all, we got all this luggage and it's snowing outside. And I was like, this is a different type of cold.
Yeah.
So when y'all used to say brick, it was just like a steel coal. It was just coal. It was a total different type of coal than in the Carolinas. So I knew the difference. I was about to freeze, but everything was just going like normal. Like they had chains on the buses, and I was like, the kids gonna be out of school. My friend was like, girl,
Yeah,
no. Well, this little bit of
exactly.
snow. And I was like, girl, if we was in North Carolina, even if it threatened the snow, they would have shut the school systems down.
Man, I remember living out there and like, I had winter coats. Like that's when we went into like the Sherlins and all that other stuff,
Mhm,
like them long, thick coats, the leather. It was like, yeah, right. I didn't get a chance to
mhm,
wear none of that stuff because it
mm-mm.
wasn't cold like that.
It wasn't cold like that. I had to
It's
pull,
not
I
cold
think
like
that was the first time I pulled out my leather quarter length coat with the fur on the inside. And I don't know what made, I knew I was going to be there for at least a year. So I
that.
bought a few winter clothes. I was so glad I bought that coat. I probably had more of that coat a good twice in North Carolina, but I got some use out of it when I was in New York. Let me
I
tell
bet you
you that.
did.
Let me and was mad that I didn't have no gloves.
Yeah, it gets cold. Let me tell you. And I'm always cold. Winter, spring, summer, fall, I'm cold. So I
Mhm,
had Hope laughing when she had came to church one Sunday and she seen my walker. She was like, Rhodey, where's your walker at? So I was like, it's in the basement. So we went downstairs to it was like an eating. Actually, I forgot what it was that they had food that Sunday. And when she seen my walker, the guys on the scooters and stuff like the Uber Eats or whatever, they ride
mhm.
their little motorcycles and they have these little hair muff things. So I have
Oh,
those
yeah.
hair muffs on my walker. She was like, yo,
Something is terribly wrong with you. You are disturbed. I promise you, you are disturbed. Something is terribly
I
wrong
have
with
to
you.
wear my walker.
Well, I
I
guess
have
you
to wear
gotta
my
do.
walker. But yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Cause I get cold. I stay cold. And I ain't
Girl.
taking them off. And so it's dead consistent summer. I will not be taking them off.
Well,
So everybody
when it's
else's hairs might be sweaty, but trust them, leave. Mine won't be sweaty.
when it's consistent cold, once it stopped being consistent cold, we're gonna have to start going outside for our Freedom Fridays. I'm excited about that. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I got the word right this time, DIY on my patio porch. I kept saying DIY, or I think I was saying that last time. But
Let me see.
I finally figured,
Do your incredibleness.
yeah,
Mm.
I'm trying to figure out what I can do on my patio to kind of spruce it up because I need the internet. I need the internet, and I
Mm.
don't have that on to go internet, and I don't want to use my phone. So,
Okay.
but we gotta figure out where you're gonna take us. Where you gonna take us in New York City? So the people that has not been to New York City can
Girl.
see.
I'd be on my little walkout mominess.
Okay,
Even on my little walker, they be like, yo, Rhodey, you still be on the go. Yes, sir, yes. Oh, for when I say Rhodey, that's still me. I'm Rhodey.
she's still roadie, yeah.
I'm
That's
still Rhodey. But I still be out on my little walker. My little walker.
you have to tell them what is the walkout mamas. What is the walkout
Okay,
mamas?
so walkout mama is just that when Michael, the husband, walks in, I walk out. Ain't no questions asked. Yo, I'm not explaining where nothing is at. Yo, I walk out. And it could be someplace local, it could be someplace far away. But that was just the thing for save my sanity, SOS. It was
Mhm,
just something that was needed. Like you still have to pamper yourself. You still have to take care of
mhm,
yourself. You still have to have that time for yourself. And being a like an on mom, like I was that mom, not even was, am still that mom, like the Girl Scout mom, and like being so many different things. You need that time to yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when walk out mama. And I would, Michael walks in, I walk out. Sometimes it would be alone. Sometimes it would be with my Bronx parents autism support circle, my co-founders, one of my friends. And again, sometimes it would be alone. A lot of times it would be alone. I like
Mm-hmm.
alone time. I have no problem being alone. I have no problem
Mm-hmm.
eating by myself, going out to eat by myself, just doing things by myself. I have no problems with that. But basically, that's all walk out mama is. He
I
walks in, I walk out.
just is that I think we all need that as women. We wear so many hats that we don't get recognized for. I can remember my oldest sister saying that years ago. She was like, we're the doctors, we're the nurses, we're the psychiatrists, we're the school's teacher, we're the wife, we're the mother, every professional hat. We're the lawyers if our children get in trouble, we're the therapists. We have so many different hats that we wear. You can't really put a cap on what you would pay us per
Mm,
hour or annually in the things that women we do as mothers. And I'm
no, you
talking specifically as mothers, not just as women, because mothers wear many hats, whether you have to have a full-time job, you still got to get off work. You got to cook dinner. You're the chef. If you have smaller kids, you got to sit at the kitchen table and help with homework and projects and all of that stuff. So we wear many hats. I never thought about it as walkout mom. I think I had my walkout go to the club.
sometimes that don't count because it's still dressing up and like all that
Hmm.
stuff is just like is maintenance. Walkout
Hmm.
mama was just that, like it was no maintenance per se involved. Like you just went out for self, for
Hmm.
total selfness. And it's a beautiful thing, especially like when you talk about women and wearing different hats and all this other stuff. I believe I love trees, and every tree has a different purpose. Some bear fruit,
Hmm.
some provide shade. Me, I just happen to have been the fruit of the mixture. My middle daughter, Malika, who she's never been in traditional school setting. I've always
Hmm.
homeschooled her. So that definitely, I mean, on top of everything that moms are, add that on when you are homeschooling. So you're also the custodian. You're
Hmm.
you're the dietitian. You're the
Hmm.
principal. So that's I had to come up with the curriculums, and it like from when she was little, teaching her basic ABCs. So
Hmm.
like teaching her to read and all of that. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
Hmm.
So and it was very taxing to not be around adults per se, because
Hmm.
I was a stay-at-home mom. I've always been a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom. So
Hmm.
I enjoyed them walkouts,
Oh no, that's
you
right.
know.
I used to be at a place where I would not eat by myself, but I'm at a place now where I can eat by myself and I'm okay with it. I wouldn't go to the restaurant and wanted to eat by myself, but I guess as you get older, it's some things that you're okay with, and I value my alone time now.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't want to spend time with my kids or my hubby, but sometimes that gives me clarity. I can think, I can get some things sorted out that may be weighing on me.
Yeah. I enjoy me, and that's one of the things. Like if you don't know how to fully enjoy you don't necessarily know what you're offering at the table when
Mhm.
somebody else joins. So it's just
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
the enjoyment that I had with myself, it was just like, well, damn, she can entertain herself. So I got to come
Mhm.
correct because she's already
Mhm.
having fun.
Mhm.
And it's always been, if you think about it, I remember going to see Boys in the Hood and all that stuff, like by myself. I remember
Mhm.
all of these things by myself. And I would treat me. I would go out to eat after the fact. Like, it would be I was dating the hell out of me. I was
Mhm.
sincerely dating me. And
You know,
anything that I would expect from anybody else, I gave to myself.
mhm.
And that was some of the most treasured moments. that I got to be with myself, because again, it's hard when you bring someone else into that fold, because then you have to give so much of your attention to them and you lose sight of who you are. So that's why when you have that time, what Lisa said, when you by yourself, then by yourself. You got to get to know yourself. You got to. You have to spend that good quality time with yourself.
I was thinking about that the other day about, women and being with our partners and spending that quality time. In fact, me and my husband, we were talking about it, and he was saying, I'm gone from the time you wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and then I don't get home to 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We eat dinner, and then it's time for me to go to bed so I can get the proper rest to do it all over again. And the show has been taking a lot of my time just with going on other platforms. And he said to me the other day, and I heard him, he said, I deserve some time with you without you having your phone in the hand, your computer in your hand, or you're editing something, because I'm always at work. I'm being the provider. And when I want to spend time with my wife, I don't want you to have the phone in your hand. I don't want you to have to rush off and edit a video or do stuff on our downtime. And at first I kind of got defensive. I'm not going to even lie, but then I heard him. I said, you know what? He is right. But at the same token, I started this podcast because he said I talk too much and I was trying to find something to do with my idle time. You know that. But now, with starting the show and interacting with so many different people that I have something in common with, I kind of enjoy my alone time. And I think I've been a little selfish with it, because I don't think that I had that alone time. I was always working. I was always in mom mode. I was always in wife mode, because I haven't really, I'm 51, out of the, let's just say realistically, from 18 to 51, I've always shared my time with somebody. If it wasn't my mother living with me and helping take care of her, or she helping me take care of the kids, it was me, my mom, and a husband, or me and my mom and the next husband. And now it was me and my last two daughters and my husband. And for the last 3 years, we've been empty nesters. I've never had Victoria time. So now that I'm finding out who Victoria is, and Victoria likes to do this. So, well, I didn't try that because I thought I was too scared to do that. And I'm finding out I was actually bold and I actually enjoy doing that stuff by myself. I've never really had that. I never really had the opportunity to do a walkout mama, to tell you the truth. And you
Well,
used to tell me about that.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself. And that was one of the things, like being a late bloomer as far as having children in my 30s, it afforded me a lot of time to travel, to live different places, to do a lot of things. Whereas, like, I didn't necessarily see it as being selfish, because I didn't have anybody else that I was taking away from. It was just me. So by the time I did become a mother, like time I was pregnant, I embraced being a mother, because there was nothing else to contend with. I had done what I needed to do. I lived in various places. I did various things. So there was no contending. Being her mother was just it. And what I throw myself into anything that I have coming to me. And that's what I did. I threw myself into motherhood, and here we are 3 kids later. And now it's like, they're older. So my first biological she'll be 19 next year, next February. My oldest, Michaela, she's 23. And then my youngest is 13. So it's just like I have that to look forward to. Since she's still 13, she's still school age and all that other goodness. But I still afford myself walkout time, because the dad he takes that slack if I want to go away or whatever. And especially now, since I've had my stroke, And
Mhm.
I'm feeling like able and ready to like resume traveling
Mhm.
again, and like, just getting out again, and just really, I feel like like 4 years of my life was kind of like in a haze of me trying to recuperate and get better and get comfortable with
Mhm.
myself and regain my confidence. And like I had a really nice thriving talking, motivational talking speeches, and like arenas, and not arenas, but like a nice platform, a very
Mhm.
nice platform. So it's just like, okay, do I want to regain all of that again, or do you look at that as that's what it was, and now what can you do in this next chapter in life? And
Mhm.
that's what I see is like this new chapter is like, it's exciting. It's
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
exciting, and I'm blessed to have it, because it's a journey. Life is a journey,
And that's where I am
and I'm
now.
blessed
I
to
mean,
be.
I get what my husband is saying about spending time, but I'm on a new journey. I've never been on this journey of finding out who Victoria is without the
Mhm.
kids, without the mom. And I told him, I said, it kind of sucks for you because now I'm being selfish with my time. I feel like I'm older. I missed out on a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. And plus, I made myself a promise when my youngest moved out at 46. I said, well, by the time she turns 18, I'll be 46 years old and I get to start living. I'll still be young enough to enjoy traveling or dating or whatever, because at the time we wasn't married. And yeah, we were married. We were married when she graduated. But my thinking before I met him, I wouldn't be married at 46. So I didn't think I was going to get married again. But then I met him. I made another rash decision to get married, and I forgot about my plans. So it's almost like I'm still trying to do my plans in a marriage, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So if I really wanted everything that I said that I wanted from 46 moving forward, I probably shouldn't have said I wanted to share my life with someone else. So now I'm trying to share my life with someone else, but still do the things that I had in my head that I envisioned after the kids went off to college or moved out or whatever it is they chose to do. And I'm finding it really doesn't work that way because sometimes, my husband is a safety person. He's
Yeah.
a safety person. And he doesn't feel like women should travel out of the country or out of the state or anywhere by themselves. And I'm just like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. God got it written in the book when I was born and when my end is. I'm not gonna be scared to live life. So, I'm trying to find Victoria, and I'm trying to find Victoria married. And it sucks for me and it sucks for him because I have to compromise on the things that I want to do. And I'm at a point where I'm kind of selfish with my time. If I want to curl up and watch girly movies all day, I don't want to come in there and watch an action movie with you. But then I know he gonna get the pouting, so I have to bend. And sometimes I just don't want to be.
Yeah. Is
I, you know.
that's the part that's not necessarily hard, but it's you have to be kind of like creative,
Mhm.
because it's not just you. And like, even with like the let's say the workout mamas, I'm not walking out 7 days of the week.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, I am a mother, I am a wife, and I have to be considerate of that. But I'm also Irene. I
Mhm.
my name is not mommy, and my name is
Mhm.
not honey. So it's
Mhm.
like, before all of that came about, I was Rhodey, I was Irene. I had dreams, I had aspirations. What are they? So I still have to be true to me,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
true to him, and true
Mhm.
to them. But truth be told, they came along after the fact of the
Mhm.
things that I set forth in wanting for me, and
Mhm.
I deserve it. But with that being said, I also became a mother, and I also
Mhm.
became a wife. So I can't like just think about only me.
Mhm.
So again, it's
Mhm.
7 days out the week. One day is it
Mhm.
got to be mine.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, he thinks I have 7 days out of the week that are mine because he at work. And I said, you can't really chalk it up like that because that's not my time. That's something scheduled for the house because I am a housewife and you're expecting certain things because you are the breadwinner. So I have to factor in dinner. I got to factor in cleaning the house. I got to factor in doing the laundry. And I'm not complaining about those things because it's way better than the jobs that I've worked for over 30, 40 some years. But like I tell him, that's not me time. Just because I'm in the house by myself,
No,
it's always something to do that
most definitely.
pertains to the house, whether it's grocery shopping or, maybe sometimes going out and doing something for one of our loved ones. And
Uh-huh.
I'm the only one that's got a car. That's not me time. So when I do settle down, I want my me time. I don't want you bugging me to spend time with you. I don't want the kids calling me, wanting me to do something for them. I actually want that time set aside for Victoria.
That's
And here
it.
lately, the only time I feel like I have that is early in the morning when I'm in my work. But if I want to just go out and just do a walkout day, I'm gonna have to start switching some stuff up. And they don't like it when you switch some stuff up. But if you
Thank-
don't start early, then they expect you to always be at home. Like I did the luncheon with my aunt yesterday. And it's so funny that we're talking about this. I immediately, when I looked at the clock and seen it was 4:45, oh my God, I gotta get home. I hadn't cooked or nothing. And she was like, you just running around. And I said, you know what? You are right. He doesn't get home to 7. If I'm just cooking when he walk in the door, I need to keep this time for me because I haven't had somebody cook me lunch or sit out on the patio. It's a nice day and just have my girls' time. And I thoroughly enjoy that. I thoroughly
Well, you
enjoy that.
deserve it. And we deserve to put us on the reserve. And that's what
Mhm,
happens when you are so many things to so many people. You
mhm,
forget. And one of the things I always talk about with my autism support group is having, because most of us, well, not most, we all are parents in that group. And if somebody scheduled a time for us to meet for a call for our children, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning, we would do it. But if
mhm,
somebody for you said, I want to see you at 2 o'clock in the morning, if we felt like it, we would show up. If not, we would cancel whatever. But we dare
mhm,
not do that for our children. We would dare
mhm,
not cancel.
mhm,
They are the most important things. And
mhm.
okay, but why can't you feel that way about yourself?
That mhm,
And we have to feel that way about ourselves because what do they say? If you're not around, you can't take care of nobody anyway.
okay.
So you have to take care of yourself, and taking care of yourself. A lot of people get it mixed up. Is just like, oh, physically and all this, but you have to mentally, and this is
Mhm,
made, mental awareness. You have to
mhm,
mentally be okay.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I'm telling you, you cannot physically help someone if you are not mentally okay.
mhm.
You have to be happy.
You
You owe
have
it to
to.
yourself to be happy.
Mhm.
It's just, it's just that is your purpose. I'm going to write the prescription of you be happy.
I know that's right. Write the prescription because I ain't gonna write it for myself.
But no,
But
I mean that's real talk. You got to, like,
you do have to
I
show up
got
for
you on
yourself
walkout
though.
times. I mean, shoot, I did my little BFF walkout tour. I was listening to what is it? Can I say the name? The Brand Nubians. I was listening
I don't
to
even
one
know
of
who
the
they
old.
are.
Are you for real? Yes, you do. One for all, Brand Nubian. Girl, we come on now. We used to Brand Nubian. We the Brand Nubians. You, oh my God. Ziggy, play a Brand Nubian song.
You can only play 30 seconds of it.
I
Oh, wait.
know. I just know. I just want to hear the title.
I can't
Okay,
hear.
Ziggy Stop. It's the same song I just sung.
You
Ziggy
gotta bring.
Stop.
You
It's the
gotta
same thing.
bring that up. You gotta bring that up. I gotta brand Nubian. I might know who they are. They sound familiar.
You do. You know them individually, but I'm not gonna say who they are individually, but you know who they are.
Well, you can say their names. This ain't.
Right? I don't said the name of the group
You
as
didn't
well.
say.
But no, it's so like thinking about them and thinking about that whole era and time and all that other stuff. It made me think about again that good vibe, that good time, that fun time. And we had a lot of fun. Again, once when you're gonna listen to that, because I'm not gonna give you any spoiler alerts on who they are. But when you look them up and you see it, it's gonna be like, oh,
What?
I
I'm looking
remember.
them up now. Let's see.
You're gonna remember. But in any event, it was happy time. It was good times. And like the biggies and all the other stuff, when I hear those songs, they bring about like, oh, I remember, da, 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 da. Like I was happy because you're not a mother, you're not a provider. You just
Oh
have
gosh, I know who this is.
exactly right. Now you see,
Yeah, I remember Brand Nubian. God, that was an oldie but a goodie.
wasn't it? That was,
That was
but
an oldie but
that
a
was
goodie.
that was a great time. That was
Yeah.
a carefree time. That was like going to state parties and like that was just like that
Mm-hmm.
time. That was just that
Mm-hmm.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a good time for me. And of course you can't move forward while looking back, but you can
Mm-hmm.
still remember and catch a glimpse of who you were and
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to keep
Mm-hmm.
in your life. So I use that as an example of something that I would want to keep in my life. All of it,
Mm-hmm.
no. I've
Mm-hmm.
outgrown a lot of that. But that
Mm-hmm.
that fun spirited person,
Yep.
like
Yep.
that is who I want to always be for all of the days
Mm-hmm.
of my life. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that God granted me that that's who he wants me to be all of the days of my life. I want to be that, like that Peter Pan syndrome, like never growing up. I just
Yep.
want to always be that person. And that was
Mm-hmm.
that time in my life where it was just fun, it was free, and I
Mm-hmm.
I I enjoyed that time.
Mm-hmm. I
I
think we
enjoyed that
all
time.
got some of those, and that's what you need some time to draw off of, though,
Yep,
to get through that. To get through that moment in your life where you can say, not all of it was bad.
exactly.
I mean, we were
Because life
talking
is
about
hard.
that.
Life is real. It's
Mm-hmm.
real.
We were
So
talking
you
about it
have to
earlier
have that
today,
enjoyment. It's
and
real.
I don't know if it was you or it might have been you. I didn't talk to so many people today, but we were talking about, and I might have just heard it because I listened to a bunch of stuff today, where our kids, they think that, and I heard it, they think that we're so hard on them and
Mhm.
trying to tell them what to do in their life, as did we. We thought our parents were trying to do. And it was a doctor I was listening to. I was listening to her show. And she said, it if we could explain it a little bit better and be more listeners than talking over top of them, we would explain it just like this. The only reason why I'm telling you this is because that was a long road, that was a long journey. And if I
Mhm.
had somebody to physically pick me up and show me the film before I went down that road, then I wouldn't do it. She said, but we as people, we won't listen to our loved ones. We'd rather go down that lonely road, which does not bring any happy memories. And then we have to take and borrow off of the happy memories of something else. And she
Mhm.
was talking about why come every day can't be a happy memory. It can be if you just stop to think sometimes instead of rushing into stuff. But then she was like, us too. we did the same thing with our parents. So everybody can have that happy life. And they were talking about, even talking to your children or well, I guess just your children about having sex. She said, our parents didn't have that conversation with us. We kind of had to figure it out. And she was saying, if we had those conversations with our children, our generation, the Gen X generation, that maybe they wouldn't have felt like they had to hop from relationship to relationship, because being in a sexual relationship is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. It's not supposed to be where I've had sex with this guy, now I've attached myself to him, because he may not be your Mr. Charming, but because nobody explained to you that first experience is supposed to be mind blowing, and he may not be your Prince Charming, but you're not supposed to share your body with everybody. Same thing with life experiences. If only you had somebody to stop you in your tracks and tell you, let me show you this movie and how that's going to turn out. Would you stop and think? And I got to thinking, I said, probably so. Now I didn't receive it from my mom. You probably didn't receive it from your mom, but if somebody else came along, I received it from them. And our children do the same thing. So when she was talking about how can we break that cycle as Black women? How can we break that cycle of repetitiveness and be happy in our life all the time? And it's almost like your walkout Wednesdays or walkout Mondays or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it started out with Wednesdays, and then it just ended up like not necessarily dictating a day, and it just being a walk out,
yeah.
but it did start out with Wednesdays. It
And I
definitely
remember
started
when
out
you were doing that, because you were
WOD.
taking pictures of your food and where
Yes.
you were going, and you was
Yep.
posting it. And
And
I just used to be like,
it was
man,
Wednesdays because it was like, wow. And that was like walkout Wednesdays. Because WOW, it was just like,
excuse me.
wow. And like now it's, before it stopped being walkout Wednesdays. Because again, it was like sometimes it would be a Monday. And then with my support group, when we were still meeting in person, that would be on a Tuesday. So it was like the day would vary. So then it was just like walkout mama. The mama's walking out. Dad is walking in. And when he walks in, that means that another adult is on shift and another adult can leave. So that was the glory of that. And I keep my journal still to this day of my three, I call it my 3 W's, what went well. And it's finding the glory every single day of my life. And like I said, sometimes my 3 1 was, nobody went to jail, nobody got killed, and nobody's in prison. Sometimes that just be the 3 things that you just grateful for, because it can be just that kind of day. It's just that kind of day. And I mean, I'm keeping it real. But then you have the other days, it's just like I gained some weight. My health is good. I'm still here. There's little things like that. So you have to really find the joy. Every day there is joy in every day. But
And
sometimes we have to look a little bit deeper, a little bit harder than others. Then again, that's why I love trees. All of the branches, like if that branch doesn't work, try over here. That's why I love staying in your lane. You have to stay in your lane. So these are the things that, like, repetitiveness, I can say it every single day of my life because it holds true every single day of my life. But it has to be a good day. Why? Because it has to be a good day. Because if I don't deem it to be a good day, I'm not going to put that much energy in a bad day, in a bad situation. I just can't relinquish my joy like that. I can't do it.
But as you get older, you find out these things, and definitely as I wouldn't even say health fails, but everything deteriorates when you get older. Your bones deteriorate. You got to worry about cholesterol, high blood pressure, especially if you don't take care of yourself. And that was one thing that my pastor said years and years ago. And some things you just remember. And he said, I don't regret anything in my life. He said, but I do regret not taking care of the body that God gave me on a loan when I was younger. If
Mhm.
I would have taken a little bit more care of my body, and this was like years ago, it probably was like 10 years ago he said this, we don't think about that stuff when we're in our 20s and our 30s and we're eating McDonald's and all the fast food that we can eat and smoking pot and drinking. He said that will be my only regret about my life is that I didn't take care of this mortal body that God gave me on a loan. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but it stuck with me because we want to do so much when now that we have that downtime. Now that
Mhm.
we have that downtime and we're older and we want to travel, and now your body don't want to cooperate with everything. You might have arthritis, you might have bursitis or whatever. You might have something that, your body don't want to cooperate with you. Your brain is still
Yeah.
moving in that direction. And like me, I still think I used to be a workaholic, put 150% in everything in my that I got. My brain tells me I still can do that, but my body like, girl, you can't do that. You
That's
better
it.
go somewhere and sit down. You can't do that
But
after.
that's
And I
again
think that's
on that lane.
hmm
You have to
that's the
switch it up.
you have to switch it up. You
And
do it.
with a race, I love the race when they pass that baton. You may not be able to run that whole full race, but you can run your part
Portion.
and you pass that baton along. So
hmm
that's just how you have to do it. And even with traveling, like I believe I still can travel, but I'm not able to travel the way that I used to
Used
travel,
to. hmm
but I still can travel, you know?
hmm
So it's
hmm
just like this now 1.2 of me can still do the things that 1.1 was doing. But now she
hmm
has to do things a little bit more creatively. She has to be
hmm
creative. I'm on a
hmm
walker now. Who would have
hmm
thought? I'll say it. I wear adult diapers now. Who would have thought? So there's a lot of
hmm
things that who would have thought. But you know
hmm
what? God knew. And by
hmm
no means is he putting any limitations on me that I can't.
hmm
So at this
hmm
point, I would be the only one limiting me from doing
hmm
anything at this
hmm
point.
hmm hmm
I'm not going to depreciate what God has given me, and that's
hmm
life.
hmm
So again, I have to do things differently, but it's okay. I can still do things. There are some that are not here today to do
hmm
anything.
And this is true. This is true. This is true. This is so true. That me time is so true. It is so true. And I used to say just in the Black community, but as I take a look around, and it's something to be said for having the opportunity to stay at home and to absorb stuff that you wouldn't absorb working
Mhm.
and just looking around. And I used to just say, the Black and brown communities, but just women in general, my Caucasian women, my Black women, my Latino, Hispanic women, we all need to take better care of ourselves. We take so much, we allow people to take, till we have nothing left to give. We all know that women in general is 50% more prone to heart attacks. That's one of the number one things that we die from. And we don't take care of ourselves like we used to. And looking around now and not either sleeping or going to work, I'm starting to realize some of that stuff. And like you said, even you were busy when you had your stroke. You
Mhm.
wasn't trying to slow down for anything. And now I'm consciously aware of that stuff. And it makes you kind of think about time, not time in the sense of I might die tomorrow, but time, I'm older. What do I want to do exciting and new today? I spent my time working the job. I spent my time taking care of the kids. I spent my time taking care of the husband. When am I going to take care of me? It's like the lady said, and that was my favorite part in the movie, this Christmas, when the two sisters got to fighting outside, and she said, I take care of everybody. And when I look down the list, I'm the last one on it. And that's because we put ourselves last on the
That's
list.
it.
So it's
That's it.
time for us to start putting ourselves first in some things. And You know, I told myself,
you have to believe that you deserve your spot. And a lot of people don't believe. They think of it as I'm selfish. If I think about me, then that's just being selfish, because that's time that I can put into such and such, and I can do it. But guess what? If you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of such and such. You just can't do it. And it's just like when I had my stroke, but of course I wasn't planning on having a stroke. I was moments at the door trying to go to camp, take my girls to camp. But it's like, to not have learned anything from that moment. You get what I'm saying? It's like you have to know that time is of the essence, and like any moment can be your last, and not to make it a morbid situation. But when I came through, it helped me to really see like, wow, thank God I did live my life and I did what I wanted to do. Because could you just think, when I came back home, like every bit, you know, I'm a creative planner and I like planners and stickers. My kids could have cared less about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything that you put into life that you think you're doing for somebody else, they don't have the same appreciation. So it made me definitely appreciative of the things that I did for myself, because just because you're doing it for someone doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they really want. So you have to do yourself a justice and really enjoy your life. You have to live.
And I think, you know, we all can take a page out of each other's book, but if our younger women could take that page out of the older women's book, instead of saying I'm grown, they would enjoy life a little bit better and things wouldn't be hard. You know, I have a tremendous amount of young ladies in my circle, but not in my inner circle. And sometimes when they're going through so much, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, it really doesn't have to be that way if you change this. And I wish I had somebody to tell me that. But again, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
You can't make them drink. You can't make them drink. Everybody has to learn things, and everyone learns things differently. And at their own pace. Think about your parents could say, you better not touch the iron, it's hot. A lot of people got burnt by the iron. A lot of people didn't get burnt by the iron because they knew it was hot. You know, so it's
I can't with you.
I still got the mark on my leg from that iron. So
I did too.
So it's, you know,
I think everybody had a mark on their leg from the iron. I still look at it today, child. And so I bruise so easy. It's
just that. It's just that. It's just that. I look at my kids. Well, they probably never got burned from the iron, because I ain't gonna lie. You know what I use my iron for? Patches.
What patch are we working on today, speaking of which? Speaking of which, what are we working on today? I don't even think I asked you last time. Did I ask you last time? I think we got to talking about so much in our Jamaican trip. We didn't even talk about the patch. But I know it was Kermit twice before that.
Girl, it's gonna be Kermit every day, because I sip to that. But you know what last week's patch was? Now that I think about it,
you did Hell Earth's.
That was the week before. Last week was jury, because that was the week that I remember Hope had gave me that bracelet. That coach bracelet, and then one of my planner besties had sent me the I think it said Just Breathe or something like that. That bracelet. I got 3 bracelets. Oh, and then the bracelet that I gave you. It was one for you, one for me. Here's mine.
I still have mine.
So it's just like, exactly. I took mine off for the bath. But so it was jury. It was last week was jury.
Remember, I told you, I called you panicking. I was like, I don't know what I did with my bracelet. And I forgot that where my bracelet was. And you guys will appreciate this. I was panicking about the bracelet that she had given me because I wanted to wear it. But unbeknownst to me, when I found the bracelet, I found my wedding rings. I found my watch. I found my diamond earrings. I wasn't even thinking about the wedding ring or the diamond earring. I was thinking about this bracelet, and it was so funny. She was on the phone with me, and I said, "Oh, I found it! I found it!" I was like, "Oh my God, my wedding ring was over there." My diamond earring. I was tearing up the house, and it was right in my face. It, you know how your mama used to say, if it would have been a snake, it would have bit
was
you.
like it would have been.
It would have bit me. It was right on the glass counter. I got glass shelves in this room where I put my cosmetics that I sell, and it was blending in the shelving. But I wasn't worried. Hadn't had my wedding ring, because I don't wear my wedding ring all the time. I don't wear it all day. My hands swell so bad. If I sleep in it, I have to take it off at night because I wake up and then literally be stuck to my finger.
I've
So
not worn a wedding ring in 4 years since my stroke because I've lost so much weight. It like literally slides
just
right off. So Michael's like, is that your excuse saying that you want a new one?
well, no, I just need to get it sized. And with that being said, when I got mine sized, I had to have the diamonds replaced 3 different times because it wasn't meant to be sized.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so the diamonds would pop out of it, and then I would, and it would just get lost. But thank God he bought a lifetime warranty on it. So they had to replace it every time. And they was like, what in the world is going on? And they realized that it wasn't meant to be resized down to a smaller size. And they finally got it right. But
well,
those,
I want a new one.
well,
I
that's
was
your
like, yeah,
excuse.
yes. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it is due time. I mean, we've been married. We've been married long enough.
How many years have it been, Riri?
did my job. We done
20?
been married for like 20, 19. No, Malika's 19. Malika's 8. Lord, how old is Malika? Malika's 19.
19.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to 20 years.
Wow.
Yep. Going on 20
Well,
years.
my
And he was my
first
high
one, I
school sweetheart.
lasted
So we
9.
met in the 80s. We met in 84,
Mm-hmm.
84, 85. Everybody
I ain't got to that.
Victoria
But if you
Mike.
count the 2 before this one and put them together, I was right at 18 years. This one, we're coming up on 8 years this month, May 17th. We'll be together 8 years. And everybody goes, y'all been together that long? It just seemed like yesterday. Yes, because this marriage, we mind our business. We didn't let no family members in. So it might be new to you, but we've been over here in our love nest, minding our business. Because one thing I found out about the prior to marriages, and I'm going to say this and we're going to end this, you can't let people in your business.
No, you certainly cannot.
You cannot let, because you
wanted to
can't,
prosper and grow. No.
you can't let his family in. You can't let your family in. Whatever the problem is, what I've learned in this marriage, you got to work through it together. Because when you start letting family in, and if you don't have that mature mind frame to be in a mature relationship, then all the chatter starts from your family members, or all the chatter starts from his family members, and you end up growing apart. So in this one, you know, my pastor said this, and I said, I know I was gonna go. We'll wrap it up. He said this weekend. He said, if we would love each other with agape love, like Jesus loved us, it'll be a lot less divorces. He said, me and my wife have been together 63 years. And believe me, we've argued, we've fussed and all that good stuff. And we've got fighting mad when we didn't speak to each other. But I feel like when you marry, you need to know who you're marrying. Take the time to get to know that person before you marry them. Date them for a while so you can see all the ups and the downs, and you can make a sound decision. Instead of letting, like he said, divorce court has the highest turnover, because people get married, they rush into marriages, and they find out they didn't really take the time to get to know that person, and how much are you willing to endure. And they
also
make it,
to learn it themselves. They don't learn themselves, and that ends up with a lot of divorces as well. Because if you don't know yourself and you start to change and you start to grow, you feel like, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z. You don't realize that it's a growing process. Like that's just the next part of you. You think you're supposed to stay stuck in that position. Again, switch your lanes and changing the lanes. You don't realize that. And if you don't know yourself,
and I thought
it's
it was
hard.
so sweet. He said, I learned something new about my wife every so often. He said, I just learned something new about her the other day. And I didn't tell her, but he said, I told her I learned something new about you. And we've been together 63 years. And that's a part of it, knowing yourself and knowing what you can endure. But again, you know, like everything that we're going through in this world, we can go on for days for this. Even, you know, getting divorces and stuff, that's like a fashion trend. Everything is like a fashion trend. And you know what? Before I go, this is the thing that bugs me, and it's probably gonna rub somebody wrong. The new thing is triggers. Everybody's using this word triggers. Oh, this triggered me. This triggered, that triggered me. It's the new thing, you know. Back in our day, we used to just say, you know, it got on my nerves. Now everything is a trigger. The reason why I did X, Y, and Z, because it triggered me. Well, you've been with yourself for 51 years. You know what you can do and what you can't do and what you will put up with and what you won't put up with. And you know, I'm just getting bothered by a lot of people saying, a lot of people are using a lot of things that really just sucks as it goes about being trending. Everything is a trend now. So you never really know what's real and what's not. Everything becomes a trend. You know, everything becomes a trend. And I just, you know, they were talking about it and they said that word was getting so proper. Triggers, triggers, triggers. And I know even in the Gen Z era, they brought therapy back in. But I think how my mother used to say it. Sometimes Satan get blamed for things that he ain't even doing, but since you blamed him for it, he gonna come
Well,
on
he's gonna
in.
revel in that. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And
Thanks for the
sometimes
invite.
people just pick up on stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about, and then it becomes a trend. And if I could do without anything in 2023 going into 24, is stuff just constantly becoming a trend. Important stuff, and I'm gonna leave it there because if I go any further, I'm probably gonna get in trouble. But just important stuff, just becoming a phase. It's just a phase, like divorces being a
Well,
phase.
get a patch that says no more phases,
No more trends. How about
no
that?
more
No,
trends,
no more triggers.
no more triggers. And on that note, my patch for this week is heavy on self-love. I'm loving the hell out of me.
I know
I'm
that's right.
heavy on loving me.
Well, guys, love on yourself.
Got
We're
to.
loving on you. We're putting together some stuff for you guys. God's will. I'm speaking it in existence. She's speaking in existence. So maybe you guys can jump on this girls' trip with us. We know, and I'm going to go ahead and address this. I've had a lot of people come and say that they wanted to be on the Girls Freedom Friday show. This is just a bestie show. We think we're going to keep it right where it is right now. Maybe in the future, as the years, if God's will, if He decides that, you know, this is something that caught on. This is just a test run right now. And so if you guys continue to enjoy it, maybe in a couple of years we'll have something like Ding Dong and have a guest or two pop in. But we definitely thank you for watching our channel and just kicking it with Miss Riri and Victoria J. But right now, the only guest that I am willing to have is the local guest in the state of North Carolina and in the state of New York. And that's only for 2 to 5 minutes if you are an entrepreneur. If you're a brand new entrepreneur and you want to tell us about your business, you can drop me an email or you can call in. But as far as guests, we're going to kind of keep it, you know, as minimal work for you girl as possible. But we thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope that you continue to enjoy our conversations because they are fun, and Miss Riri is funny with her isms. And I hope you guys continue as well to check us out on 12th Street Talk Back. And with this being Mental Health Month, you guys know that we are in partnership with BetterHelp. We're also in partnership with Faithful Counseling, and both of them have over 30,000 licensed professionals that can help you with a variety of your needs. It's via chat, telephone, or video call, and you can just call in and tell them about, what your concerns out, what you need. And this month you can get 10% off. If you're into BetterHelp, you can go over to www.betterhelp.com/12th street, and you can get 10% off this month only. And take care of your mental health, take care of you.
Yeah.
The point of this whole conversation, we didn't know where it was going to go. We never script anything, but it's about just taking care of you, being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman, we do wear many hats, and sometimes we think that we are super women, and unfortunately it doesn't come with the cape and the fancy little cute outfit. And we need
Oh,
to take
that
some time.
outfit's cute, right?
Right. We need to take some time and take care of our mental health. Head on over to Good Pod, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Spotify for podcasters, iHeartRadio, Castro, Podbay. Check 12th Street Talk back out Monday through Friday with morning inspirations for 2 minutes a day. We say a prayer, we give you a Bible verse, and give you something to meditate on all day, and maybe you hear something that pierces your heart. As well as Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we have a regular 30-40 minute show. And you can follow us right here on our YouTube channel for Freedom Fridays Girl Chat with Miss Riri and Miss Victoria J. Until next time, peace and blessings. And if it's God's will, we'll see you right here again on next Friday. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.